Hello everyone, welcome to the session. And now in this session, we would be discussing about the exogenetic forces in which we're going to deal with the glacial landforms. I hope you have a clarity with respect to the connect. We have cleared about this, and we are actually discussing these exogenetic forces. Whether we have done erosion, we are actually covering running water, we have done fluvial landforms, we have done. Now we will be beginning with the glaciers, and yes, I hope there is a clarity that we are focusing on erosional aspect, and we are also focusing on the depositional aspect simultaneously. And as a result of that, what landforms would going to form, how they would going to change the topographical features, we are actually focusing on this as well. Erosion and depositional, both landforms we are covering. Now let's begin with the glacial landforms. That it is because of the it is because, or let's say it's how the ice sheet or the glacier will lead to the modification in the surface of our earth crust, how it is going to change the slope on the earth crust. That is being known as glacial landforms. So first of all, if you see, just like a river, we will also have a movement of glacier. So from the upper areas, with respect to the slope of mountain, we will have some sort of low elevated areas. So just like water, we will also have a motion of what? Glacier. We will have a motion of ice sheet as well. However, the motion of glacier is also because of the melting of water itself. And with respect to the climate change in our today's world, because of the climate change, we'll also have a movement in the glacier itself. Whenever the glacier will going to melt, as a result of that, the ice sheet will going to move. So this ice sheet will cause erosion. That ice sheet will cause some sort of removal, some sort of deposition. So as a result of erosion, as a result of deposition, what landforms, what topographical features would be appear. And yes, you have to remember the name, that what specific name is given to a particular landform. You have to remember that. Here, first of all, we have an ice sheet. So when the ice sheet will going to melt or move, here we'll have an erosion. And when we have a gentle slope, so here we will have what? Some sort of deposition which will going to take place. And with respect to the slopes, you have to focus, you have to pay attention that what is the alignment of a particular slope, how the slope is look like. Landform, glacial landform. First of all, let's discuss about some basic understanding with respect to this specific particular topic. So glaciers are moving masses of ice and snow. Why they will going to move? They will going to move while following the slope, and when there is a melting, so as a result of melting, they are going to move significantly. They act as a powerful agent of erosion. Transportation of ice and rock debris will be there, and the same will be deposited. And as a result of their deposition, they will form what? Distinct slope, distinct landforms, which will be formed not only in the mountain region, but it will also be there in the plain, or let's say in the continental region as well. We have two significant processes associated with the erosional process, associated with the fundamental of erosional part of glaciers. First of all, we have a plucking. We have what? Plucking. So the meaning of plucking is what? That when the glacier freeze onto rock and it pulls pieces away as it moves. Suppose we have an ice sheet here, and this ice sheet, when it is moving like this, when it is moving like this, it will lead to the removal of these rock debris. I mean, the rock which is actually the part of this particular slope, which used to be a part of this particular slope of mountain, and because of the glacial action, because of the movement of ice, when we're going to remove, that removal will be known as what? Plucking. Similar as that of erosion, similar as that of the hydraulic action of water. So whenever we have a pure action of ice, as a result of that there is a removal, that specific aspect will be called as what? Plucking. Similarly, we will have a abrasion. Abrasion means when we have a removed material and when we have ice, if both will lead to the removal of slope, that will be called as what? Abrasion. I hope you have a clarity regarding the abrasion. So So abrasion means medium will exert some sort of removal, and the load which is there in that medium, that will also cause what? A removal. So that will be what? Abrasion. So rock fragments with ice also led to the polishing of bedrock, or let's say removal of rocks from the mountain. That will be termed as what? Abrasion. All right, with those two particular aspects, that will be more than enough. Let's discuss the other aspect with respect to the erosional landform of glacier. Erosional landform means those glaciers which have formed, certainly the erosional landforms which have formed because of the removal of material. So whenever we have a removal, first of all, there will be a formation of cirque. There will be a formation of what? Cirque, or you can say Cori. There will be a formation of cirque, or you can say the same with respect to the Cori. How it is going to form? See, suppose we have a glacier, like suppose we have a this mountain like this, or let's say pointed summit, and this mountain might have, let's say, the portion which is covered with the ice. And when this ice will going to move, when the ice will going to move, it will have a vertical down cutting. So as a result of this vertical down cutting, when we have a depression, when we have this kind of formation of shape like this, so that will be termed as what? Cirque. That will be termed as what? Cori. Let me give you one more example. Here you will see, this is Cori, this is Cori, this is what? Cirque, this is what? Cirque. And if the cirque is filled with the water, that will be termed as Cori Lake. Okay, cirque and Cori is same with respect to their appearance. Here in this particular image, you can see here, suppose we have a mountain like this, and if the glacier is moving, as a result of movement of glacier, we will have what? The depressions which have been formed, they will be termed as what? Cirque. And the same is filled with the water, we will call that as a Cirque Lake or Cori Lake. Now, with respect to this, we can say this cirque, how it used to look like. It used to look like bowl or armchair shape. It used to look like bowl or armchair shape. It is hollow on mountainside, and it formed by the plucking of frost action at the glacier. When ice melts, it also form a small tongue lake. It is also being called as what? Tongue lake, if it is filled with the water. It is also called as what? Cori Lake, if it is filled with the water, if this depression is filled with the water. Likewise. Okay. So suppose it might have been a full mountain, and because of the glacier action, it has been eroded, and one depression is formed, and this depression is termed as what? Cirque. Arête. Arête. What is arête? Arête is knife-shaped topography. It is knife-shaped topography which is separating two cirque basins, which is separating two Cori lakes. It is sharp knife-edge ridge between two cirques, and it formed when two glaciers erode back towards each other. So when two glaciers are eroding towards each other, let's say in this way, so this will going to form, the sharp edge will going to form. Here you can see in this way, this is the depression, and when we have this knife shape kind of aspect, that will be called as what? Arête. So this supposed to be a full mountain like this. So when it is moving like this, when the glacier is moving like this, so it will lead to the erosion, deposition is there, Cori Lake is formed, and when we have these lines, or let's say when we have these topographical features which are separating cirques, have a knife shape ridges, they are being termed as what? They are being termed as arête. So these are what? Arête. Then we have a col or saddle. This is what the erosional landform. So here you can see we have a cirque, we have Tarn Lake, okay, we have arête. This is what the arête, okay, this is what the arête, this is what the arête. Again, you can say this will be the arête, okay, simple. How the slope is look like. Okay, so col, what is col? Col is a basically, we can say, the low point or pass between two cirques. So wherever you see two cirques, in between those two cirques you will see col. You'll see what? Coal. So suppose we have a this point. So this point will be termed as what? Coal. C-O-L. This point will be termed as what? Coal. Then we have horn. So what will be the horn? Horn is basically a pyramidical peak. Horn would be a pyramidical peak. Here you can see this peak, which is having a some sort of pyramid appearance. So this will be what? Horn. This will be what? Horn. This pyramid shape will be known as what? Horn. And the lowest part will be known as what? Cone.